really determines our health and our longevity. What about Afro-Caribbean? Do we have any Afro-Caribbeans? Any people from Africa or the Caribbean watching here? Yes, we have quite a few. Why should it be that Africans have higher blood pressure than everybody else? Why should that be? That doesn't seem fair. Now, when I ask people, they say, oh, maybe it's because of slavery or we have a harder life. Well, no, that's not true. The answer is quite simple. The reason why Africans have a high blood pressure is because we come from hot climates. That's why our skin is dark. And because we perspire, we need to hold on to water a little bit more than Caucasians. So our bodies hold on to salt a little bit more, and where salt goes, water follows. So because we hold on to salt more, and then we have a wonderful Western diet which is riddled with salt, we become much more sensitive to salt, and our blood pressure rises more than everybody else. But the good news is you just simply have to eat less salt. If you eat less salt, your risk goes down. Now, what about the third one? Why are men having higher blood pressure than women? Well, the answer is always obvious, because men have to live with women. Isn't that the answer? No? Okay, all right, maybe not. Okay. No, the real answer is that women have this hormone estrogen in their system, and up until the menopause, it actually lowers the blood pressure. After menopause, the blood pressure goes up just like everybody else. So those are the unfair, or the seemingly unfair issues. Yesterday, Sister Finley was talking about water. Water is essential for lowering blood pressure. I must say I thoroughly enjoyed, I took notes from yesterday's talk. I thoroughly enjoyed that talk. Water absolutely is one of the cheapest, simplest ways to lower blood pressure. Let me explain why. Anybody love swimming here? Anybody love swimming? Okay, right. More Caucasian hands up than Africans. That makes sense. You see, the continent of Africa, we excel in middle distance running, right? We do. We win all. I mean, it's rare that an African doesn't win a middle distance or a long distance race. I'm yet to see an Olympic swimmer coming from the continent of Africa, maybe sometime soon. But let me explain something. Imagine trying to swim in a swimming pool filled with honey. Can you imagine that? Swimming in honey. Imagine how hard it would be. I mean, it would probably take you a week to do a length. You'd be exhausted because it's so thick. You'd have to use so much force. Well, imagine your blood becomes thicker. The thicker your blood becomes, the more effort your heart will have to do to push it through the system. Now, what makes the blood thick? Low amounts of water. What do you have to do? Drink more water, your blood pressure comes down almost immediately. Almost immediately. That's the power of water. Okay. Now, hypertension is described as a disease. I look at it as a warning sign. Because if your blood pressure is going up, it's telling you that there are lots of things under the hood that are getting worse. So things like cancer, that's going to be caused by the stress hormones, Alzheimer's disease, anxiety, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease. All of these are bigger problems down the line if you don't deal with your high blood pressure, because your high blood pressure can be caused by stress, and those stress hormones, even if you get the right pill to lower your blood pressure, they're not going to deal with the cancer, they're not going to deal with the Alzheimer's. Let me show you this picture just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. This is a picture of my first car. My first car. It actually still looks quite good. Not the actual car. My car looked a lot worse than that. I scraped up all the money I could get to purchase this car. When I purchased it, I didn't have enough money for petrol after. That was all my money. So when I started to drive it, and the warning lights were going off, I had no money to fix the car. So I just had to keep on driving. More warning lights came up. Then one day, steam came out of the engine, the car stopped. It became incredibly expensive for me to deal with. That's how I think about high blood pressure. It's a warning sign that something worse is coming down the line. And it demonstrates what I believe is one of the best descriptions of disease. This is from Ellen White. It says, disease is the effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. That's what disease is. It's your body trying to deal with what you've done wrong. And that's what blood pressure is. So let me give you a further example. Because sometimes blood pressure really is essential. You need high blood pressure. Let me explain what I mean. Our brains, our hearts, our organs, they all need a certain amount of blood every hour, every minute, every day.